Let's step into the ancient Egyptian afterlife, not as fantasy, but as a mirror of the human psyche. Because this story is not just myth, it's an early exploration of morality, consciousness, and the weight of our choices. The Egyptians believed that the heart, not the brain, contained the essence of who we are. It held every memory, intention, action, and thought a person had in their lifetime. So, when death came, judgment wasn't metaphorical, it was anatomical. They prepared for this judgment with elaborate funerals, burying the dead with food, clothing, and sacred items for the journey, including, most importantly, the heart. It was believed to be the soul's witness, and without it, judgment couldn't take place. In cases where the heart was missing, a carved scarab was placed in its place, inscribed with spells to ensure the heart spoke kindly when the time came. The more wealthy the individual, the more elaborate the tomb, but no one, rich or poor, escaped the scales of truth. That's because eventually the Egyptians believed every soul had to journey through the underworld, a realm of darkness, gates and guardians, until they reached the one place where the truth could no longer be outrun, the Hall of Ma'at. There, beneath the watchful eyes of the gods, the heart of the deceased was placed on one side of a golden scale. On the other side, a single white feather, the feather of Ma'at. Ma'at wasn't just a goddess of truth, justice, and balance. She was the principle that held the entire universe together. She was moral integrity made divine. Overseeing the ritual was Anubis, the jackal-headed god of embalming and protection. With steady, unshaking hands, he guided the heart to the scale, ensuring the process was both sacred and fair. But before the weighing could begin, the soul had to stand before the 42 divine judges, each one representing a spiritual law, an ethical commandment of Ma'at. One by one, the soul would make its confessions, known as the negative confessions or the declaration of innocence. This wasn't just ceremony, it was a moral reckoning. Not a confession of guilt, but a declaration of restraint. The soul had to stand and claim what it had not done. I have not lied. I have not stolen. I have not caused pain. It was a final accounting of how one lived, what one carried, and whether the heart would betray the truth. Standing nearby was Thoth, the ibis, headed god of wisdom, writing, and knowledge. He recorded every word, every weight, every outcome, like a cosmic scribe, ensuring that nothing was missed and no truth was lost. His presence reminded the soul, nothing could be rewritten. This was the final draft. Once the weighing was complete, the verdict was clear, and it was Osiris, god of the underworld and resurrection, who presided over the final judgment. Seated on his throne in the Hall of Ma'at, wrapped in white linen, he watched in silence as the scales tipped. To him belonged the last judgment, offering rest to the pure and nothingness to the untrue. If the heart was light, the soul was granted passage into Aru, the field of reeds, a kind of eternal paradise, a mirror of life, but perfect. Here the spirit would reunite with loved ones, walk among green fields under golden light, and find peace without pain. But if the heart was heavy, weighed down by cruelty, deceit, or injustice, it was cast to Amut, the devourer, a creature stitched together from Egypt's most feared beasts, the head of a crocodile, the torso of a leopard, and the hind legs of a hippo. She didn't punish, she erased. To be consumed by Amut meant non-existence, the ultimate punishment, no afterlife, no rebirth. a fate worse than death. What's extraordinary about this story is not just the myth itself, but what it reveals about the minds that imagined it. The Egyptians weren't just obsessed with death, they were obsessed with meaning. They understood that a life without integrity, without balance, without truth, was already a kind of spiritual death. This wasn't just theology, it was early psychology, a system built on moral accountability, personal responsibility, and spiritual self-awareness. They linked the heart, the symbolic core of feeling, choice, and memory, to truth. They believed that to reach peace, you had to live in harmony, not just with gods, but with your own conscience. And this is what makes the story of the weighing of the heart so enduring. It tells us the real judgment isn't later, it's now. It lives inside you. The Egyptians weren't just thinking about the afterlife, they were thinking about how to live.